Alright, so we got Amazing Spider-Man 2. We all know the story from the trailers. You know, Peter Parker, he's still Spider-Manning, graduating high school, trying to decide whether or not to stay with his girlfriend Gwen Stacy or not, or to let her go to pursue her own futures. While at the same time, Oscorp employee Max gets electrified and becomes Electro, and his obsession with Spider-Man leads him to believe Spider-Man's betraying him and thus becomes enemies. While at the same time, Harry Osborn comes into the picture and is dying, and so needs Spider-Man's blood in order to be cured. Or at least thinks he'll be cured. And then we have another villain, a terrorist Russian, who sort of earlier on becomes Rhino. And that's just, summarization, because we all know what the story is from, just the trailers. I just saw the movie. I'm trying to, this is just trying to make it fresh. Recording right after I see it like I used to. The story was good, the story was okay. The character development was okay, just in some parts it seemed a little cheap. Like Electro with him before becoming Electro, the character was obsessed with Spider-Man, thinking he was best buds. It just seemed like too obsessive. It kind of seemed like it belittled him a little bit. I can't really speak for the characters because I don't read the comics that much. I remember seeing all this in these characters in the animated series from the 90s, but that doesn't make me an expert on these characters. It's just how I feel. It just feels like it belittled the character a little. The relationship between Peter and Gwen was good. I actually liked that part the best. And his struggle with wanting to stay with her and wanting to let her go and trying to keep his promise to her father that he made at the end of the first movie, and is that internal struggle and the emotions, that was good. I liked that a lot. And those two actors played off each other beautifully. We continue the storyline with Peter Parker's father and all the things he was doing. So we get to kind of end that storyline finally. We get to find out what happened to them, and we get to end the storyline basically, and Peter gets to move on. And that was nice. It's kind of, because Batman never really got to move on from his his troubled life, losing his parents. So it was nice to see Peter move on from that and learn from it. Although he'll still miss his parents, but it would be nice. It's nice to see that he would move on from it. The acting was good. I liked all that. The costume designs for each of the characters really was pretty cool. I liked the final Electro outfit. At the end of the movie, he has a final outfit, which is pretty cool. It's just the one problem I have. It's not a big problem. It's just a little kind of irk to me. It's just that when you see it, it's like when he's all blue, and he's wearing these leather undies in like a prison scene or whatever, you can't help but think of an electrified Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen. You just can't help but think of that. It's like I said, it's not a big problem. It's just that you shouldn't be thinking of another character when you're watching this character. But yeah, it's still good. Green Goblin was nice, and I liked the costume for that too. They even made hints to the original design in the comments, like his hair becomes like pointy, and then in the back, and then he gets these little metal plates drilled into his head to kind of give the hint of long, pointy ears, and his teeth become sharp. He kind of looks like like a goblin in a way. It was pretty good. I mean, it was nice. A bit over the top, but a good kind of bit over the top. And then Rhino came at the very end of the movie. It's not a spoiler or anything. It's just he comes at the very end of the movie, and I liked his outfit. It's a big metal robot instead of a suit. But I thought it was a bit too much where they had rockets and machine guns. But again, I can understand because modern times you got this big, huge, robotic thing. You want to arm it to the teeth. So I can understand that. It's just that it felt a bit over the top. One of the things I kind of felt also that was cheap with the movie was that the final two villains, the Green Goblin and Rhino, just came and then went. You know, I'm not going to give any spoilers, but Green Goblin just came for one plot point, and then he was in jail. And then at the end of the movie, very end of the movie, Spider-Man's about to give a blow to Rhino, his first blow at Rhino, and the movie ends. And it was like, okay, alright, okay, fine, it's okay. Would have liked to see a nice final fight scene before the end, but okay. And then, something else that kind of felt cheap to me was Spider-Man's character development. I mean, at first we get this good character development, that things go on, you know, as things go on, but then when we get to towards the end of the movie, he has a real down point in his life, and at the very end of the movie, he comes back up from that and rises to continue on, but we don't feel like we get a full circle. It's just that the movie ends. And it's like, we want more, we want to see more, but we don't. And I guess that storyline will probably continue on in the other sequels, maybe. But other than that, the movie was good. It's just, even though it was like a 2.5 hour movie, it felt like an hour and a half. I guess it's because I was so into the movie that time just flies. You know, time flies like hell. Another thing I want to point this out. Another thing that kind of felt cheap was the business angle. Harry Osborn becomes, you know, the CEO of his company because his father dies. Well, there's the kind of conspiracy going on with the lawyers wanting to take over and, you know, get rid of Harry. And it just seemed like a cheap subplot that just ended and just really did need to just end. I mean, it didn't seem necessary, although it kind of did for Harry's character and development towards Green Goblin, but at the same time it didn't. And the kind of villain of that piece was one of the lawyers. He just seemed so one-sided. I mean, his villainous kind of seemed too forced, like it was being obvious villain. I need you out of my way. And it was just like, no. So it just, some parts felt cheap, some parts didn't, you know, some parts felt a little rushed. But all in all, it was a good movie. I can understand why some people like it and some people don't. I'm in the middle. I like it. But at the same time, I kind of don't like some of the things in there. Not all of it, just some things. The action scenes, you know, were great. Particularly the final fight scene between Electro and Spider-Man, great. I mean, it was fantastic. And it had a bunch of other stuff going on as little subplot things going on in the background that kept you on the edge of the seat as well during the fight scene. It made the fight scene more important. So that was good. It just, some things kind of felt cheap. So, all in all, like I said, it's a good movie. I do recommend it. It's something to see, especially if you like the last movie. Hopefully the next film will do a little bit better. I give this movie 2.5 stars out of 5. So yeah, this is my review for The Amazing Spider-Man 2. Hopefully we will see more in Amazing Spider-Man 3. Hopefully we'll see Venom or Carnage, Vulture, you know, Doc Ock, you know, all those other ones in future films. And hopefully we'll see Mary Jane. I'd like to see who they will cast for Mary Jane. It would be pretty interesting, you know. So yeah, we'll see where this goes. I'd like to see more of Spider-Man. Well, have a nice one.